Hello you guys, welcome to my channel or welcome back to my channel. So I want to give you guys a 2-week update. I didn't want to just disappear, being that I've taken you guys on this entire pregnancy journey. The last thing that you guys saw in the labor and delivery vlog was him being born, obviously. After he was born, I think one of the most uncomfortable things that they do is they rub on your stomach, like to make sure that you don't have any clots and that you're not, you know, bleeding too crazily and all these other things. Make sure there's nothing stuck up in there and all this other stuff. That is very uncomfortable. I'm not gonna say that it really hurts, but it definitely feels like a very, 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 very deep tissue massage. So wasn't really a fan of that one. And I kind of felt out of it after I had him. I just felt not like I wasn't coherent, but I just kind of felt like I was in like a daze. Like I just kind of was going with the motions of what they were telling me to do. Because at this time I didn't have the baby. They were like checking on me, making sure I was okay, getting ready to transfer me to, I don't know what the room is called, but it's not labor and delivery anymore. You get transferred to another floor. So after having him, they are like putting these hideous underwear on me, putting the ice pack down there, helping me clean up, just all kind of stuff. Because as you guys know, having a baby is messy business. Okay, so so we go to the room, and at this point, I'm not really in any pain or anything like that. I'm just really tired and absolutely starving. Like I am just starving. So fast forward, I started to move around, and at that point I started realizing like, okay, I'm a little more sore than what I thought that I was. I guess the epidural had started to wear off, as well as, what do you need, baby? Hey, yeah, he's awake. You don't want to look? So the epidural had started wearing off at this point. And they basically had me on like ibuprofen and Tylenol around the clock. A few times I didn't really want it because I wasn't in that much pain, which made it easier for me to come home too, because I wasn't taking the pain medication. I did do the ibuprofen, especially because I was breastfeeding. So between, are you hungry? Yes, he has a bottle. No, it is not formula. I do pumping and feeding, pump and bottle feeding, as well as putting him on the breast for breastfeeding. So that is how we keep our sanity over here, which I'll explain that in like a whole nother video or at the end of this one. So yeah, that made it easier to transition going home, because I clearly wasn't going to be taking that much medication at home. Going home, I kind of was a little nervous about it because everyone kept saying like, oh, it's such a big transition, and, you know, embrace the help that you have at the hospital because it's not going to be like that when you get home, and blah, 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 blah. I guess luckily for us, we didn't really want help in the hospital. The only help that we were like, I guess like looking forward to was like a lactation consultant, because he was so small. And so as people who's been pregnant know, or if you don't know, when you're pregnant, your nipples are huge. They completely change size, which made it a little harder for him to latch. Well, to stay latched, because he would latch, but it just was taking him too much energy to stay latched. So we started doing the expression and spoon feeding him, as well as feeding him with the little needle bottles from the hospital, because I just refused to do formula. Because I was producing so much milk. So it was like, why not? Well, colostrum at this point. But I was producing so much that it made no sense to feed him formula. So yeah, coming home was not a hard transition for us. It actually was a lot easier because we both had a lot of anxiety and reservations about being in the hospital, being that that was not our birth plan to begin with. And especially with everything going on with COVID and I don't know, like we grew up during a Lifetime era, like where it was all of these different stories of people snatching babies and all kind of stuff. So we were not a fan of it whatsoever. So coming home definitely gave us comfort of being in a familiar place. You need to burp? You need to burp, man. So it definitely gave us the comfort of being in a familiar place, of having our things and being able to like really shower and, you know, get, I don't know, just take care of yourself in a different way than what you can in the hospital. As well as eat, like eat food that we actually wanted. Good job. That we actually wanted, and to be able to like lay in the bed together and like be comfortable. I'm just gonna pass out like that. Okay. So being home was actually a lot better for us. We actually got more sleep being home. Let's see. I was very sore the first week. Not necessarily like I needed to take anything sore, but definitely like I could feel that my body had done a very intense workout. Okay, so, if you catch my drift. So that made it a little more complicated to kind of like get up and move around how I'm used to, and just to do like a lot of little things. Like when I would breastfeed, you contract when you breastfeed. So when I would breastfeed, because I'm already sore, that would be like some pretty strong menstrual cramps, is how I can describe it. Let's see, me personally, my body started to go back to normal day 2 of being home. My stomach had become a lot flatter. I was having less cramping each day than I did the day prior, as well as less bleeding. It was like sleep was amazing, like being able to sleep on my stomach again and on my side, and not having heartburn all night, and just all of the joys of being. I do still have, I guess, like some of my baby weight, because like look how huge my face is. Um, but that was fine. Aside from that, my biggest recommendation, I guess, would be to have a schedule and have a plan. Me and my husband had already discussed this towards the end, because he was like, you know, you do need to rest, you need to heal. So he was extremely, extremely helpful, and still is. Um, at night, I struggle with staying awake, or like really, I don't know, I guess being able to be fully alert at night. And my husband does really, really good with staying up at night. So we would do pretty much me having a baby during the day, and then he would have the baby at night. Aside from like the obvious, like I would have to get up and breastfeed, or I would have to pump. And pumping made it a lot easier for us, because instead of me having to get up and like breastfeed the baby, I was able to just tell my husband like, oh, he has milk in the fridge, and he could you know, put it in some warm water or whatever for the baby. So I was able to just get up and pump for basically my own comfort, because if you don't pump, your breasts do hurt. They do get really engorged, especially because I was producing, well, I still am producing a whole lot of milk. Like my entire freezer is filled with milk. I'll put a picture in here. It's completely full. Um, so that made it a lot easier. And then once we got to a point of knowing our son's schedule, we both were able to sleep at night, and just we would alternate without even saying it. We just would alternate. Like if he heard the baby first, then he would get up and feed him and change him and stuff like that, and vice versa. I would get up and feed him and change him. You know, the stuff that you do. We really got the luck of the draw, because he does not cry. Um, Unless something is really wrong, like if he has like really bad gas or something, and he just cannot get comfortable, and it's like waking him up out his sleep, then maybe he'll like whine, I guess. But he doesn't cry. Like, we got a really peaceful baby. Even when he was born, he was so quiet that I thought that something was wrong. I was like, is he okay, is he okay? And they're like, yeah, he's just chilling. Like, and then the whole time we were in the hospital, they said the same thing. Like, all of the nurses that would come in, no matter which shift it was, would be like, oh, this is my favorite baby on the floor right now, and oh, he's so quiet, and he's just so relaxed. And then they would do something to make him cry. So thanks. But but yes, we got such a good baby. Yes, being a mom is so joyous. I love it. I haven't had a day yet that I felt like, oh, this is so overwhelming, oh, it's so much. Like, I haven't felt that way, and I was really scared of that with coming home. I was so scared of like being in pain, and then being sleep deprived, and um just getting overwhelmed. But I haven't felt like that. And like, I mean, I know I have a very long journey ahead of me, but I thought that I would have felt that way within those first few days of being home, because it's a lot of adjustments. It's a lot of like, oh, you just had a new baby, and the new baby's gonna be crying, and you're not gonna know what to do, and you're hormonal, and you're in pain, and all of these different things. But I didn't feel that way, and I guess a lot of it too that contributed to me not feeling that way is we had a very, 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 very good support system. Um, like, we didn't expect him to be in preemies. So my mom ended up having to go get him preemie clothes. Zay's mom went and got him preemie clothes, preemie diapers. Um, my mom made sure to check in like all the time. His grandmother made sure, like, she like came over to the house while we were still in the hospital, started getting things together for us, um, call and check in all the time and stuff like that. So, and not only that, but my husband was like, and he was everything in one. Um, if it was pumping, if it was like me needing something, if it was me just needing to sleep, if it was just whatever, like, he always took whatever it was and did whatever it was that I needed him to do. So I think that all of that plays a huge factor in the fact that I didn't get into like a slump um, afterwards, and that I was well rested. Like, to say that I have a newborn, I'm very well rested. Which feels good to be able to say, like, I'm not tired. I'm not like holding him, like dozing off or anything like that. And I think that it's a beautiful thing to be able to have that, because I'm able to give my child me fully. Like, I don't have to be like, oh, I'm just so tired, like I can't entertain him or whatever. Because when he's awake, I like to actually talk to him and stimulate him. And we have these LED lights, and we like to turn those on for him. You okay? So we've done very, very well with adjusting to being home. We have like a whole system anytime we go anywhere, which we only are going to his doctor's appointments as of now. We're not taking him out the house really. I'm very, very happy with being a mommy. And I love my little son. He's so cute. I'm going to try to catch him smiling one day so I can give you guys a picture of that. But it's like he knows when the phone comes out. So, yeah. Thank you guys for tuning in. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up, share, subscribe, comment.